Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. Today it's a red day for the crypto markets. Make sure to strap in. Today we're a bit early because, well, we have to talk about the news as it is happening right here live on the channel. Welcome, guys. Don't forget to strap in because truly, if you take a look at the chart, it is a bloodbath. However, as always, I would say there is a silver lining, because I'm not a major bear. I'm going to talk about a lot of things in this video. I'm going to talk about the RSI levels. I'm going to talk about Cronos. I'm going to talk about Bitcoin dominance. I'm going to talk about a lot of stuff. But as we speak, like literally as we speak, Bitcoin is creating so far a lower low at about 65k per Bitcoin. It is extremely cheap. Like literally a week ago when we had the midweek update on Thursday as well, we had a video talking about the dump below 84k, and the dump below 84k, that feels ages ago, but it was over here. Since that time we have gone down another like 21%, and already the dump towards 84k was quite spectacular, from about 97 all the way now to 65k in a matter of days, guys. Like, this is not normal. This is absolutely not normal. We have seen many things like that as well in the past. In the opposite way, you can see here, after the Trump election, we went up basically with the same amount of speed. But now we're having this dump. So all the gains from the Trump election are gone. We're back to pre-Trump era. And maybe that's a good thing. Maybe we're now cleansing the market, guys, but overall it's painful for anyone holding Bitcoin. Silver lining, though. I'll talk a lot about Bitcoin dominance, guys. Bitcoin dominance, it's dropping. I've seen many takes from people saying that every time Bitcoin would dump, well, in that case, if Bitcoin dumps, altcoins are hurt even more. Well, I can show you examples that is exactly not the case here. CRO Bitcoin going up, Ethereum Bitcoin going up. Ethereum also just dropped below $2,000, guys. That is actually quite an issue. But so far, we're still doing okay. I do hope the month is still young. Specifically for Ethereum, we have been in a year-long uptrend. Literally years. These are monthly candles. I do hope we'll get a bit of a bounce, because if we can bounce back up to about 2060, also for Ethereum, the year-long uptrend will be intact. This uptrend started all the way in 2020, so let's have a bit of hopium here, guys. Welcome. It is a hard day. Björn can't wait for the interview. Again, if you guys have questions, don't forget to ask them for Ryan. And I think we can say this now. Besides the interview with Ryan, also Zane will be joining. This will be the first public appearance on a camera from the Cronos Labs team. So again, strap in, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. And if you have any questions, I would say the best way to ask them is to come to our Discord, because if you ask a question right here, right now, I will lose it. So a comment on YouTube, or you can go to our Discord. And I think I kind of prefer the Discord, because in that case, we can also go a big back and forth if I don't understand the question. So just a bit of a thing. Of course, I can also answer your comments. Anyway, so Ethereum below 2,000, Bitcoin below 66 now. We'll talk about 65. I think 64 though will be very interesting. 64. Some people say this May peak of 2024. That's the true bull market peak of 2021. I said 2024. This is about 60. Oh, not even 64. It's 60. Well, it's about 64-ish. 64-ish. Thank you so much, Bjorn, for the links there, guys. So if you want to join a Discord, don't forget to join that one to ask the questions. Misa are now going to grow from pure market wishes and not from Trump hype, though, if we are back to these previous levels. That's true. But it's not like Trump only did negative stuff. Like, it's also that with the Clarity Act and the Stablecoin Act, the Genius Bill. Like fundamentally, some bullish things have happened. The new SEC, of course, a lot more bullish, a lot better for crypto. So it's certainly very interesting what's happening. The overall stock market, if we take a look at, you know, the broader market, S&P is down. It went to about 7,000 points recently, but now it is back to about 6,800. But overall, it's still very close. It is within only a few percentage points, like 3% of an all-time high. Whereas Bitcoin, Bitcoin is, yeah. We need to grow, give or take 100% to go back to an all-time high. Having said that, though, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not like super bearish. Like everyone will probably say to me, Coin Baron, you're freaking out of your mind. But I'm still not entirely convinced if this is a bull market or a bear market or whatever. And why do I say that? Well, I always refer back to this here. To me personally, like this is very important. This is very important. I will come back to this many times probably in the stream. Where we are now regarding the crazy dumping, to me this is more similar to 2021 in May than a 2018 bear market or the 2022 bear market. Just take a look again how quick this was. How quick this was. Let's take a look at the all-time high. It took, well, like the biggest dump, 54%, took about 36 days. That's not entirely the same. But you can see it is very much in a similar speed. This is okay. This is a lot longer. This is going to be a lot longer, guys. I'm not gonna lie there. This was about 120 days, so it's not entirely comparable. But I would say this is yet less than 50%. I'm going to change my IDs if we are truly going to dump more than 50%. If something like this is going to appear, it's all fine, right? It still leads up to an upcoming all-time high. And we talked about this also on the most recent video. There is definitely a case to be made that we are going to be like Nvidia, that we're going to basically create a bit of a megaphone structure. A little bit of a megaphone structure here. You can see also we got this here. Remind yourself of this picture, and I will open up the Nvidia chart next to you guys. So Ethereum. Now let's go to Nvidia. Let's go to the weekly, I believe. There you can see it's a bit different. Definitely a bit different. I would say this is the best approximation. You can see we have created basically a lower low. And I would say this is important because you can see here, it also went below this low here. So we have a low below the previous resistance line or support line. And we still ended up at some point creating a bounce. And then also heading up all the way, not just 100% back. No. This, guys, was 150%. Is this going to be the all-time high for Nvidia this market cycle? I don't know. I have zero clue. But I can say a few things about this here. And the most important takeaway from me, besides that, overall, yeah, this is not like unknown territory. We know Bitcoin is extremely risky, and in absolute numbers, what just happened here, it's almost the worst ever to Bitcoin. We're talking about losing more than $60,000. Teddy doesn't think it's a bear market. We've got Pete also saying it's not necessarily a major bear market. Maybe a baby bear. I could agree on that one. I would say, yeah, we have gone down about minus 50% now at this point. You could make the argument this is a small bear market. We could make that argument. Maybe the same also for people in the silver trading, though, because this is Nvidia, but what about silver? Is this basically also a mini bear market? A baby bear market? Minus 40%. I have no absolute answers, guys. I have zero absolute answers. But overall, I'm not going to sell anymore. Like, I think it makes no sense. I'm going to also take a look at the Cronos chart because you guys are probably also wondering, what about Cronos? Good morning, Skywalker. Good to see you. I probably missed a few people, guys. Today it's a heavy day. Peter, welcome. Can you explain a little bit more if there's some news about the burning of Crow? What's the plan? Okay, important question, Peter. Tune in on the 11th of February. That's going to be next week, Wednesday. I'm going to have a talk with Ryan White, CEO of Cronos, and also Mr. Zane. And we're going to have one big segment called tokenomics. I haven't really asked the questions yet, but one big part will be tokenomics, 70 billion, burn, whatever. I want to know with a clear answer. I'm not want to beat about the bush about that. I want to know what's the plan. Because, so let me ask it this way. My first question will be to them, like, hey, did you hear about this whole unburn thing before the actual, you know, becoming a CEO or becoming part of the team? What were your initial thoughts? Did you know of Cronos beforehand? I want to know a bit of their view about the history of Cronos, because I think it's important that they understand really where we are coming from and also what they, what their moral compass is like, basically. And I have a good feel with Ryan, but that's I don't, you know, I can't buy on feels. I need to buy on absolutes. You know, guys. Let's talk a bit about the bullish take here. I think this is something we need to talk about now. The RSI, the relative strength index, and the relative strength index, as it mentions in the name, it's relative. But we made a video about it a while ago. So the RSI is currently oversold. You can see it's now over here for Bitcoin specifically, meaning at 17. A 17 value means we're massively oversold on the daily basis. This is worse than many bear markets actually on the daily. It's worse than the 2022 bear market. It's worse than, it's worse than 2022 in general. It's worse than the 2020 COVID dump. It is not worse than what we had in the bear market really of 2019 or 2018. But it's very close, guys. So basically the worst we've had in the history of Bitcoin on the daily. But I would say the weekly RSI is giving you an even clearer path. Where we are now regarding oversoldness of the RSI. So to quickly give you an idea, typically you want to sell when the RSI is very high, so it's overbought. So too many people have been buying the Bitcoin token, therefore it's overbought. And you typically want to buy in. So you sell here, buy in here when it's getting to the oversold levels. But where we are now on the weekly scale, again, it's even worse than the bear market of 2018. This, guys, is what marked the bear market bottoms of previous cycles. So even if this is like the bear, this was the bear, like this was it, and we might even go a bit lower, of course, because you can see maybe there's also an argument to be made that we are creating a bit steeper bear markets. Maybe that's an argument. I think that's something we can live with. But overall, it's honestly crazy. It's honestly crazy how low we are, and we're just at 65k. As we're speaking, like it's going down a bit more, like literally this minute. But it's so oversold. It's so freaking oversold. It's honestly crazy. But as we go, guys, this stream is called Capitulation because I think that's what happens when fear is at a maximum level. I would say this is super irrational. Is it manipulation? I don't know. I have no clue. I do have some other news though that we need to discuss. And I'm gonna go to the chat as well. But yeah, we just created the lower low again. Or just, yeah. We're getting very close now to 65k. And that's on the Binance exchange. I will be taking a look at the chart, guys, every once in a while this live stream, so you won't miss anything. And there we go, 60, 64. I think we hit 64 now just a minute ago. Cronos, well, Cronos is actually doing pretty okay. Like, yeah, it's not the best, right? We also capitulated there because Bitcoin started dumping, but Bitcoin went to a new low and a new low and a new low. Cronos, it I believe just hit a new low at about 7.2, or maybe not even yet a new low. No, not even yet a new low. Oh yeah, just a minute ago. Just a minute ago we had a new low at about 7.2, I believe. 7.25. So honestly, Crow is holding on pretty strong, and it also makes sense because on this chart you can see that at about 7.2 we've had many levels of support and resistance. So it makes sense that at about where we are now, it's trying to desperately hold this level. Oh my god. There we go, 64. 64.5. This is, guys, getting very close to what I was mentioning earlier. The bear market or the bull market high of May 20. Yeah, we're basically there now. April top of 2021. And I want to say this is actually quite significant because in the history really of Bitcoin, we only broke below the previous high once before. That was here. So we created a high at about 20k, actually 19 point something. We went below 19k in December of 2022 or November of 2022. Before that, we always created a new low above the previous high. And now, yeah, well, we are now below the April top as well. So this is the second time in history of Bitcoin we are going below the previous high. But of course, we don't know yet if this is the true. Yeah, well, this is confirmed now. We're at 64. Good to see you guys. Welcome. Big shakeout. True that, sir. True that. That was quick. That was from 65 to 64 within seconds, really. Anyways, good to see you guys. Crow at a massive discount. I'm thinking of selling my house to buy more Crow at this point. It's ridiculously cheap, it's true. Hello, can we go with Bitcoin? Well, I honestly don't know. So the RSI we talked about, in theory, it can drop even lower. But honestly, if you take a look at all the indicators, we are at a very low point. We are at a very low point. At this moment, I expect to bounce any minute now. Like, if we don't get a bounce any minute now or any day, don't talk about exact minutes. It's weird. It's literally weird. Because in the history of Bitcoin, we have always seen bounces. Especially if we maybe if we continue this whole line here, you can see we have a bit of a target at about 60k. If we complete like this megaphone structure, it will be 60k. And 60k, I mean, that's pretty decent. 60k, that's a shoulder we got here as well. That's about 60k. This is 60k. This is about 60k as well. 60k is strong, guys. So maybe 60k. I mean, we're there. We're getting very close now. So yeah, 4 cents. Let's see. I don't think we will go that low. And the reason I don't think Crow will go that low, guys, is that this is not the chart I was trying to look at. The reason I don't think we'll go to 4 cents because 5 cents has been our bear market low in 2023. That would mean we are marking a new low below the previous low, which I think is very unlikely. Especially because Bitcoin dominance, you can see, right? We are now breaking lower and lower and lower. And you could make the argument as well for Bitcoin dominance that we're now creating a bit of an M pattern, right? Double top. So Bitcoin dominance can drop. I don't know where it will stop. And in this case, this is not the best way we go into an altcoin season, right? Because if we go into an altcoin season because simply said Bitcoin capitulates, it's not because altcoins do so well. It's basically because Bitcoin did so bad. It's minus 12% on the day, guys. Cronos is minus 11%, so it's still bad, but it's relatively better. XRP is down 24%. Wow. It has now filled its own scam wake from October. That's interesting because CRO also did that, right? So CRO on the majority of exchanges has now, or is very close to revisiting the scam wake of the 10th. Let me go quickly to the CRO Crypto.com exchange. Yeah, we just surpassed it, guys. This is actually quite significant. You can see, right, where we are now. It's exactly the scam wick of the 10th of October. So where we are getting now very close to, that's basically where we have liquidity. People with buy. People are buying CRO at 7 cents. That was also the case on the 10th of October. So I don't know if there are big buy walls here. If you can take a look at the exchange, you probably will find a bit more information. But I don't know. So far though, altcoins are holding on pretty well. It is really interesting. 60k. I would say 60k would be. I'm not going. I don't recommend necessarily, no financial advice, of course, selling now. Because as I mentioned, we you know, it's a bit of a falling knife. I mean, at this exact moment, we might be going to 63. It's all happening live, guys. I'm just trying to talk what's happening right here on the screen. It's absolute capitulation, it does feel like. But yeah, as I mentioned, always, after rain, we do see sunshine. What's happening, guys? Yeah, so it's a crazy bear. It's a crazy market, right? Down 22% in 7 days, and it's like down 50% in down 40% in like 20 days. So there we go. Mine was 63k now. Shockwave, welcome. Shang Tsung as well, 212. What will your sentiment be after March if Chris is, you know, going to hold himself accountable? I don't know. I'm curious what Chris will say. Maybe he's going to promise he will do a lot more in March. Depends on his accountability, right? Good to see you all, guys. Keep stacking, top. Welcome, welcome. It's a good thing we got the Trump pump flushed. True. We're getting into, I would say, it's healthy. It is healthy, guys. If I'm taking a look now at the coin market cap, this is, by the way, big news. And I don't like this. And I do like it at the same time. So one of the signs of, you know, a harsh market is that exchanges are going to stop. They stop operating for Gemini now in the UK, in Europe, and Australia. They're going to focus on Singapore and also the US. In all honesty, I think Gemini itself, it wasn't always the biggest exchange in Europe, but I believe they had to lay off about 200 people at Gemini. So I feel sorry for the people working at Gemini. They tried in Europe, they tried in the UK, but yeah, it's a harsh situation now. It's very harsh. It's bleeding hard. It is, welcome, welcome. strapped in. I see Star Fox. My crypto might be down, but my dividends paying share keeps on giving me money. That's great, sir. That's actually great. Keep stacking. More dividend. It is crazy. So Crush Guys is talking about the fundamentals, and if I take a look at the overall economy, like there are so many screaming signs of better times for crypto. We talked about in the recent video about the ISM. It's expanding again, an expanding territory. We got no longer quantitative tightening. Basically, since the Fed started lowering interest rates, it's lower than ever. Or lower than ever. It's been lower than since 2022. And the overall, looking forward, you know, we got ETFs, we got altcoin ETFs, we got the Clarity Act, we got stable coins, we got banks, you know, all crying to become basically a stable coin. We got treasury companies. Treasury companies, by the way, might be a bit of a different conversation as well. Maybe it's actually treasury companies that they want to flush out this time around. Okay, we're getting very close now also to about 6.9 cents for CRO specifically. What a brutal day, guys. What a freaking brutal day. Fundamentally, though, I do not think the market is broken. It's not like Bitcoin will go to zero. Like, Bitcoin will still remain being Bitcoin. I do not think the quantum fear is truly to be something to be feared about. Yeah. You know, I'm just bullish myself. Wall Street is just controlling the money now. The market, I think we need to... we're now in max fear. I think they are maxing fear. That's true. Let me check if I can find what the Fear and Greed Index is like at this exact moment. I do believe the Fear and Greed Index, it resets every evening. So probably it's not really correct. It's currently at 12. I think, to be very honest, I think it's lower now. Like this morning, it was 12. I think we're now at like 4. I think it's really bad. Hey, we're pumping a bit now. Come on, 64. Let's reclaim 64. Let's be a bit more positive now. ETH being below 2K is crazy. Is it a good time to buy a CRO? Well, of course, I don't give any financial advice, ladies and gentlemen, but the word is in the street here is that if you take a look at indicators, like the RSI, CRO is heavily overbought or heavily oversold. So I don't make up the rules. It's lower than it has been since 2023. So we always have moments really of crazy pumps like here, here, and here. Are we going lower potentially? Maybe. But we are already at quite low levels. So I don't know, guys. I don't know. We're getting at least... I don't know if... nobody knows the exact bottom. That nobody does. But I do know we're getting into the very attractive zone. Bitcoin will go up like a rocket. You know, that's the thing, right? It did so. It did so back in 2021. It did go back to those crazy good levels. We talked about the timeline. I actually think maybe it's better to take a look at the actual high. That's about 100 days. So we have now been dumping for about 120 days. In my opinion, it can't get much worse. So that's why I'm not selling at this point. That makes no sense to me personally. Like all the indicators, I'm not just talking about indicators. The only thing which I don't like is the MACD. That one, you know, it's getting worse. But typically also, again, like it's it's getting worse now, but at some point it reaches max fear, max pain, and it starts to turn around again. Best example, I don't know. Let's go to the weekly maybe. No good example. Ooh, I'm slightly terrified but staying strapped in, not selling. Sometimes doing nothing is the best thing. But as always, guys, if you have like any leverage positions, it's important to take control, you know, risk off maybe. I don't know. Depends on what you want to do, of course. The 12th is my birthday, so I don't expect to make it to the interview. Oh, you expect to make it to the interview? Yeah, guys, I don't expect that we'll have an actual daily live stream next week, Thursday. We'll do probably, I think it will be a live stream. I will make the announcement later, but yeah, it's going to be a session with Ryan, CEO of Cronos Labs. Yeah, it is pretty brutal, guys. Is it good I bought 5 million Cronos and staked it for like 9.5? Save on the CDC exchange. I love the CDC exchange, Shang. I love it. It's my favorite place to store Pro. Is it safe? Well, I would say it's as safe as it would be, as it can get. Like, if you trust crypto.com, if you trust CRO, I think you do trust crypto.com. It's as safe as you can be. If crypto.com would rock, I would say also in general the CRO token would probably have a hard time going forward. But I do believe it's one of the safest bets you can choose. It's crazy. Like if you take a look at the speed, like the speed of the dump, it's only getting quicker. You can see it's more like a reverse parabola. Typically, you might like to see it the other way around. You might like to see it like this. Now it's the other way around. So the good thing, guys, as I always mention, I will take a look at silver here. This is a good parabola. Parabolic? You know, parabolic. Let's say like that. This is a good one. But you can see how quickly it can change. Now, take a look at this chart and reverse it. This is the reverse Bitcoin chart. Does it look like, you know, a bit too overheated? To me, it does. I have to take a look at the chart like this. I think this feels better, right? This feels a lot better. This does feel a lot better. Good to see you all, guys. Welcome. When people sell in panic, they permanently lock in losses instead of riding out the liquidity cycle. That's true. Like, you might be feeling bad now, but as long as you do not realize the losses, it's all fine. Once you start to sell, it is realized and you actually made a loss. That might be a good way to, though, you know, harvest tax losses, but, you know, it's nothing is certain in this world. I still can't believe there wasn't a firm plan in place before they minted the 70 billion. I do believe they had a plan. I still have a plan regarding the treasury and also regarding the ETFs, me, myself. That's my firm belief. I do think, though, that they weren't able to talk about it, or they didn't want to talk about it, like in public. Mr. Wow was talking about a liquidity cycle, not really a crypto cycle. When cash becomes scarce, leverage unwinds, risk assets dump, and crypto moves fast and also first. I think you're right. Right on the money here, Mr. Wow. I might want to check if I can find the... So, for anyone wondering, I think this is a very important chart. This is the Federal Reserve M2 money supply. You can see that quite recently we started, well, printing money, I would say. Well, adding money to the money stock, but only quite recently we actually have been adding more money in regards to April of 2022. So for a long time it has been contracting, and I still also think that we still have a lot of damage from this period. Like, too much money was added too quickly. Too much money was added too quickly. Like, this is... It's also like the parabola we talked about. Bitcoin weekly RSI is lower than 30. That's so freaking oversold. Weekly RSI, very important as well. Will you skip the Sunday interview? Yeah. I will skip the Thursday one, I guess. Makes most sense. The weekly RSI is even lower than when FTX exploded. Let me check. Let me quickly check. So guys, for anyone wondering, this is an inverted scale. We are creating lower lows, but you know, it's all fine. As we mentioned, guys, it's getting into like ridiculously low territory. Also on the 5-minute chart, yeah. So even on the 5-minute chart, we have been extremely overbought or oversold. Even in the short term, we do expect at least a bit of a bounce. Hourly, oversold. 4 hourly, big oversold. We're at 12. I can't even remember I seen it this low. Go back to, I think, the weekly. Let's talk about the weekly. Is it below the explosion of FTX? The question, of course, is, Pete, like, is there any skull in the closet? Yeah, here we can see. November, we had the... November, wait. When did FTX explode? I believe it was... It was over here, November 2022. We're way lower. And I think somebody mentioned in the chat already earlier, like, nothing truly bad happened, like, news-wise. Maybe some people know something that we don't. Maybe they do. I don't know. But yeah, we're definitely... Guys, we're so low. It's honestly freaking crazy that we are this low. Manipulation? Potentially. This is a buying opportunity people have been asking for, or even begging for. I think you're making a solid point here. So maybe one good thing. Let's assume, guys, I don't like wicks. Let's assume we don't do the wicks. Let's skip the wicks. If we don't include the wicks here on this chart, we're getting very close to the bottom. If this is the microphone pattern that we're looking at, if this is going to determine the bottom, based here on, yeah, just a few weekly candles here, only 4 weekly candles, all the way back in April of 2025, we're getting now basically to that low. We are now at that low, so maybe this is the bounce. Maybe this is it. We have to be very careful, though, with calling bottoms. As I say, it's a falling knife, but, you know, I cannot say to you without lying to myself saying this isn't a great buying opportunity where we are right now. Like, relatively seen, huh? Like, the same thing, like 20k was also great. But yeah, of course, we did go lower. If you bought Bitcoin here at 20k, you might have felt really bad. You might have felt like the worst person ever for buying Bitcoin at 20k and a week later dropped 20%. But what's another 20% in the end? So maybe, let's say, okay, maybe we go down another 20%. Goes to 50k. Well, 60k, 50k. I know it's a big car. We're talking about a car of difference, but if Bitcoin is going to $1 million, does it really matter? Boy, when there's blood in the streets, Baron Nathan Rothschild. Is it really? I've heard this quote so many times. Is it Rothschild? I've heard people say it's also the guy from I lost it. in the famous investor. He's still alive. He's like, I think, 96 years old. Hathaway, Berkshire. I lost the name. So bad. I've got literally a book with his all his investing stuff there. It's called The Intelligent Investor as well. 3 words written by him. I lost the name. Good to see you guys. It's a rough day. It is Bitcoin capitulation day. Altcoins, not too bad. Like, yeah, it's down, but it's not as down as Bitcoin. Like Bitcoin, it's back to 2024 levels. Like CRO, it's down to, yeah, we've been here in 2025. We've also been here actually on just a few months ago, on October 10th. I do still think CRO is lower to go. I firmly believe that with CRO, it will descend to the October scan wick prices to fill the wick completely with a full body candle. That's possible. We are basically there. We're basically there, Peter. Oh, Pete. Needs to drop on the crypto.com exchange, like 0.1. Hey, some good news. We're so far bouncing on the $64,000 level, which is good to see. But of course, guys, it's very temporarily. If you go to 4 cents, well, expect a huge bounce. CRO is a debt reward token. I definitely, guys, recommend to check the new leadership. It's definitely not that. And also not at all diluted. A lot of big moves coming up for CRO. Definitely, guys, again, we've got an interview coming up next week, Wednesday. Check it out. It's all about the whole rebrand. It's all about the whole upcoming changes for Cronos, strategic direction. Hey, Quamara, can we see like 4 cents CRO? I think it's very unlikely, and we talked about this a bit earlier, but I think it's very unlikely because that for CRO specifically would mean that we go below the 2025 bear market low. Is it impossible? Well, I believe the October 10 crash was also impossible. We went from 20 cents to 7 cents. I thought that was impossible. It still happened. So I will never ever say impossible anymore. I would say it's highly unlikely though. Oh, we didn't even talk about the news from crypto.com. Given all the news about CRO and CDC coming out in the next few weeks, I find it a shame that good news is then held back by the price. I agree there. It's a shame. People, you know, they will miss out because simply said the market is bad. The market was good and we got all this news. Probably was different story. But let's talk. I don't know. I'm curious about your opinion about this. But Crypto.com recently released something new. This one. Prediction Markets OG. A complete new platform only available in the US. And let me check where it is. We're excited to officially unveil the new era of prediction markets for sports fans with the launch of OG. I think tomorrow is going to be, or very soon is going to be the Super Bowl. It is the OG platform. New name, new brand. Same Crypto.com company though, and this is what will be running the whole sports betting. Let me check if I can find it, what the account is. I think it's literally like OG. Com. Yeah, specifically for the Super Bowl is going to be quite big, I believe. Very interesting, guys. We're tracking the markets live as we speak. Bitcoin 63, CRO 7.2 cents. Ethereum, was Ethereum at? 1.8k, ouch. Is getting very close now here to 1400. 1400 was the April 2025 low for Ethereum. As we talked about in the beginning, I do hope it will close the week, but hopefully also the month, above the $2,200 level, because in that case, we can still expect this upward continuation for the CRO or the Ethereum price that started in January of 2020. But let's see. I think it's possible. I think we're gonna have a big reaction later this week. It might be like a weekend pump, a scam pump, but I wanna show you quickly the so CRO is doing pretty well on its Bitcoin pair. But I wanna show you quickly the other one. It's called the Bitcoin futures. We do have a big gap. I got a huge gap actually. Typically, we fill CME gaps within the first 2 weeks. So, if anything, guys, if anything is going to play out like it always does, we're going to close this CME gap here within the next 2 weeks. So, we'll do like not like that, but maybe like this. Hold your seat, I'm buying. I will say some CRO. Always, guys, do make your own decisions. It's dangerous now, but also it's a good opportunity. I saw a guy in a store line looking at the market in Binance. Oh, rat buying a What's at the exit. I felt this pain. Ay. So bad. I trade on Pinex and I have CRO and the scam wick there stopped at 6.6 cents. Okay. I would say that the main market for CRO is crypto.com. So that's where I would be looking at personally. Pinex has simply said, I would say, a smaller order book, and therefore also it's a bit different. Yeah, that's of course. First time fear and greed will be negative. I wouldn't be surprised, like, if it goes to -1. Like Bitcoin is dead. Like the majority of people are screaming Bitcoin is like literally dead. Like, no, it's over. It's so over. Ay. When is the interview? It's happening on Wednesday, the 11th. Trump just opened his mouth just a bit too much lately. Now everyone is starting to turn against him and everything goes into the whole wrong direction. I can understand that, Quinton. I can understand that, but yeah, it's what it is. He is the president of the US. We still have to listen to him the next 3 more years, so let's make the best of it. I think we just created a lower low. No, actually not yet. This white line, guys, it's the daily line we drew a few minutes earlier, but it's not that significant. I'm not opening my portfolio today. Maybe that's a clever thing today to do. Hey, El Central, welcome. Appreciate your live streams. Thank you so much. I'm happy to see you guys all. It's a bad day. Share your experiences. Share also your feels. It's okay today. But one thing, it's just money. Don't do anything like stupid. It's just money. It's not going to. It might change your life for the better, but if you don't have it, it will not change your life for the worse, truly. Yeah, this is bullish shelling, isn't it? Like if we invert it, it's so clear, guys. It's so freaking clear. So bullish, guys. Like honestly, I have a hard time not to be bullish about this. I do like though the fact that we are struggling a bit at this level. So maybe. Hey, what's up, Marty? Will you be attending the Bitcoin Amsterdam conference next year again? I don't know yet. I don't know. It depends on when it is. I think I saw a date. I think it was on a day that I'm not available typically, because we got all kind of family birthdays. But I don't know. I would say in general, go check the Discord if you can, Mr. Skywalker, because in that case I'm when we get a bit closer, like a few months, then probably I will be checking in again. Got some shorts in place. Not bad. I would say there's a great time to be short. Hey, check CRO, please. CRO is, you know, holding on. It's 7.16. Like, like if Bitcoin stays at about this price now, nothing is going to happen to CRO. The big thing now is checking Bitcoin. Yeah, it's called Warren Buffett. We talked about the whole quote, when blood is in the streets, you should buy. I thought it was Buffett, but I might be wrong there. I think he's misquoted a lot, like with this name. Hey, Jorge. They're getting the price lower. They could inject the gold money in Bitcoin. That's true. I would say gold, I think, got quite a bit of a big bounce, like a decent one. Still below 5,000, but gold is not doing all too bad, all things considered. Where's gold? And gold is... Okay, today it's actually quite bad. It might have been the peak for gold as well. Today is minus 3%. Ouch, ouch, ouch. I think we might see 62k, guys, very soon now. Painful, painful days. We're now at a point where you want to put a chunky long in a place, but don't trust the price to fall below your stop loss. Yeah. Yeah, you don't typically know. That's the hard part. Didn't Chris say in his last AMA that we will be pleased with the Cronos price come early 2026 in the first quarter? We should have kept him accountable on the 26th of March, or 25th of March, to be exact. Sage is asking or saying, I think that the move with Ryan as CEO will be beneficial, but my fear it will be a bit too late for the help of CRO, and that it might be a gamble if we don't get a 100% turn point. That's a good question. Is it too late? I think it's not too late, because the overall Crypto.com brand, like it's still pretty good. And still there are a lot more people that need to be onboarded to the whole crypto ecosystem. Also DeFi in general, it's like still very, very young. Prediction markets are getting it a bit more. Oh, there we go, 62. It's holding, but 62 is getting very close now. Bear market, 100% clear fact. I still can't agree there. 100% cookies. Why? Again, I would say 60k is possible, but this wasn't the bear market. This wasn't the bear market. It was minus 54%. Okay, we're now below 62. Getting spicy now. What platform do you use for the charts? We got Angry Care Bear asking. I'm using TradingView. It's, I think, the best well-known platform for watching charts. Has a lot of different exchanges, had a lot of different possibilities. So I think it's free as well for the majority of functions. So you can check it out for free. The TradingView. Hey, Rai or Raj, welcome. It's a rough day. I hope Raj are doing better today. Minus 15% for Bitcoin on the day. Ay ay ay. That's like meme coin territory. Well, that's not meme coin territory. That's like gold and silver territory. Minus 15% on the day. Ay ay ay. I think 41 might be the bottom, 30% down from the 200 week. Well, the 200 day, let me check. It's the 200 week actually. To check. The 200 week is like the 4-year average. So if anyone wondering, the 200 week is currently at the 58k level. So we've been talking about 60k. I would say 60k is pretty big, like from the old days, like significant levels. But then we also got 58 at about the 200 week simple moving average. But yeah, maybe it's below that as well. Some bear markets dipped a bit below it. You can see here, for example. So what Chang is, I think, pointing towards is the minus 36% below the 200 week. That was back in March. Oh no, that was back in 2022, 2023. But yeah, that's it's no given. I think if we go back to even older charts, I think I have one over here. Let me double check. I think there are many occasions where we didn't go below it. So this is 2020, we went below it. And here you can see we basically went right back to the 200 week. Like right on top, that was in 2019, 2018, 2019, right on top of the 200 week. And also the time before that, also right on top of the 200 week, we had the bear market. So potentially it might stop there. Don't necessarily think we need to go below the 200 week. I'm asking AI for Crow. Okay, well, what is AI saying? Is it a good time to buy? I typically would say you buy when blood is in the streets. Today we see a lot of blood. Blood is here in big amount. So I would say so, but of course I'm no financial advisor. So always make up your own mind, take your own risk, because we can drop a bit lower. But if you are here for the long term, typically I would say it's decent. I'm here for the long term. Strap in, boys. You have to strap in. I'm loving this downside. Cheaper, right? It's getting a lot cheaper now. Okay, so Buffett's at buy when there's fear in the streets. Rothschild is credited with saying buy when there's blood in the streets, but apparently he's probably not. He's actually not the guy that said it. Okay. Sanjay's projecting 40 cents, 80 cents, and then $1 end of 2026. I think if we get, you know, this is honestly, guys, crazy. Nobody's talking about this, but so I know many people have been crediting Benjamin Cowen for his theories recently, but like his main theory about Bitcoin dominance, we're now back to like crazy, well, not crazy low levels, but we're breaking through like very significant levels for Bitcoin dominance. 58.4. Like Ethereum is not doing too bad. Like Crow is not doing too bad. Bitcoin is doing bad. And yeah, I think XRP, there are a few examples that are doing bad, but overall, I don't care where we go. I've been accumulating for the last 5 years, and now I will continue to do so until the moon. And I think, like, this is my take here, but I think at some point we will do that. I think Javello is absolutely right. Let's say worst case, we will we'll have a new pump, but it will only bring us back here to 20 cents or 17 cents. That's still like 2.5x if you buy now. No guarantees as always. Crow is doing so strong. I am honestly out of my mind. I'm looking now at the charts. Like Bitcoin is, the 5-minute chart is ugly as hell. Like ugly. And then we got Crow. It's down. Of course it's down. Like everything is down. But compared to Bitcoin, like it's crazy. Like Crow's guys holding on quite well to. It's now back to about 7.2 cents. If you asked me a few weeks before, where would Crow be if Bitcoin was at about 6.60, 62, or 63? I would probably say, yeah. at least 40% lower. You can see the low here we've got on the big pro Bitcoin chart. It's about, it's minus 25%. Well, from the current level, by the way, I need to check. Yeah, about 34% lower. So a week ago, I would have said that CRO would have been at this point in time, probably like minus 34. That's a lot. Then CRO would have been at about 5 cents. But CRO is holding on quite well. Is Bitcoin recovering? Is Bitcoin recovering? I think, guys, like in general, I would be quite happy if this is it. This would be the NVIDIA play. This would be the megaphone structure where it is absolutely a rough time to be in the market. But, you know, it's not like over. It's not like completely dead. But yeah, I'm just, it's a bit of hopium, of course. Like we have a good bounce on the 5-minute chart. I think that's also what Top Low Max mentioned here. This is good. This is actually good. Like, and giving you guys a bit of hopium. We just pumped about $2,000 in 5 minutes. From 62 to 64. There we go. This is how it should be. Thanks for bringing it up, Todd. Thanks for bringing it up. CRO's going up again, 7.3. Is Satoshi actually Epstein? No, it is not. He's not. If this is it, guys, I would be out of my mind. But let's not celebrate too soon. We have seen many good pumps in the short term, but you know. I would say we're ending the stream, though, on a bit of a high. So what triggered these harsh dips? Nothing. Like, I would say boredom. You think the Epstein stuff, that's what's causing the crash? Okay, I didn't know that. That's the first time I hear this rumor. And watch Bitcoin dominance. We just did. It's still low. Yeah, if you spend now with the CRO credit card, you get more CRO. Same amount of cash back, but more CRO, which is quite good. What will you do with the rainbow chart? I have to reassess that one. I think I cannot open a rainbow chart like. I have to reassess. Makes no sense like it is anymore. Like here I could make an argument like, hey, yeah, it's temporarily. We have always been bouncing up quite fast afterwards, but now it's been how many days? Like 80 days? That's like almost a complete quarter. Too much. CRO will overtake Bitcoin? I don't know, sir. I don't think that's likely, but you know, it's a good story, isn't it? Looks like my target of 5 cents CRO is coming. I don't know. I don't think that altcoins will hit a bottom against Bitcoin again. Well, I would agree, Big Rob. It is definitely a very, very, very interesting month. Bitcoin to 55k. Well, we just talked about a potential stop at the 200-day. I would say the 200-day is something that you have to definitely pay attention to as we're pumping a bit now. So maybe this was it. Maybe we catched it live, guys. We caught the falling knife and we're now on the way up again. We don't know. Nobody knows. It's a lot of opium here. Keeps me sane. I would say this, me myself. I would say the following, and I think this is a important message to anyone here. Nobody truly knows where it will end. I can only say that at this exact level where we are now, many indicators are pointing towards bottoms. Like it is within ranges of where we are now. I don't know if it's 60k. I don't know if it's 55. Is it 64 where we are at this exact moment? So 62 it was actually. We don't know. Nobody knows. I know a few things though. That is that the crypto market is going forward. That fundamentally macro conditions are becoming stronger and stronger. I would say also the case for cheaper money. It's becoming better and better. New Fed chair as well. Not per se a fan of quantitative easing, but overall I would say it is definitely probably bringing down the interest rates. I think that's only likely with the recent job numbers as well. The recent job numbers, the new job openings, were pretty bearish. Well, basically less job openings than expected. So that's an important thing. What else? Guys, crypto is growing. Crypto is growing. We're pumping a bit. I love it. I think it was Giovanni, guys. I think it was Giovanni. I think he's buying the dip now. Did you have your Giovanni? Thanks, guys. We're going to end the stream, though. We'll talk again on this Sunday. Then next week, we'll have the video, the live. I think it will be live stream with Ryan and Zane, CEO and CPO of Cronos Chain. The first public appearance ever. Big thing. So make sure you hit the like button, you strap in, because things are going to change very rapidly now. Like from this day onward, things are going to change. So you need to be up to date. Hit the notification bell, because you cannot afford to miss things now. It's happening live now. It's happening live now. Guys, thank you so much. Enjoy the weekend. Enjoy this rough day. And I hope we see you got each other again in with a more green chart. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.